Hello viewers, myself Dr. Sangeeta Johri, Head of the Department Management, RNTU Bhopal. Just a quick recap of our last session in which I discussed about the types of research and also the basic meaning of research. Now today we will be discussing about the research process. आज हम बात करेंगे कि शोध की प्रक्रिया कैसे की जाती है, शोध कैसे किया जाता है, क्या वो चरण हैं जिनके द्वारा हम शोध को करते हैं. Broadly if you see there are in totality 7 or 8 steps of research process. शोध करने के 7 या 8 चरण होते हैं जिस प्रक्रिया के द्वारा हम शोध करते हैं. No matter if I am making a project or if I am making a thesis or if I am making any broader project, the process remains same. या हम कोई एक स्कूल की स्टडी भी कर रहे हैं या स्कूल का भी कोई बच्चा अगर एक प्रोजेक्ट बना रहा है, बस अगर उसमें रिसर्च कंपोनेंट है तो ये 7 या जो 8 चरण हैं ये हमें फॉलो करने ही होते हैं अगर हम एक अच्छी रिसर्च प्रोसेस को फॉलो करना चाहते हैं. सबसे पहले जब हम शोध करने की बात करते हैं तो हम बात करते हैं कि हम शोध किस पर करेंगे. दैट इज द फर्स्ट स्टेप ऑफ द रिसर्च प्रोसेस इज टू आइडेंटिफाई द रिसर्च प्रॉब्लम. Again here I would like to say that lot many books or rather in all the books you will see that we will start with the identification of the research problem and then we have the literature review. But according to my experience I want to say that before getting to the problem we also do the in-depth review to reach to the problem. इसको हम इस प्रॉब्लम की बात को कि हम प्रॉब्लम आइडेंटिफाई कैसे करेंगे एक एग्जाम्पल से समझते हैं कि हमारे रोज़मर्रा की लाइफ में बहुत सारी चीज़ें होती हैं जो हम देखते हैं और हमें लगता है कि यहाँ कहीं कुछ कमी है. वो जो कमी होती है वो एक्चुअली प्रॉब्लम है और समस्या है. समस्या का मतलब यहाँ पर कोई मुसीबत से नहीं है. समस्या का मतलब यहाँ पर है कि अगर हम कोई रिसर्च कर रहे हैं तो ऐसा कौन सा कंपोनेंट है जिस पर हम स्टडी करना चाहते हैं. नाउ द पॉइंट इज दैट वो कंपोनेंट क्या हो सकता है. दैट मीन्स व्हाट कैन बी माई प्रॉब्लम. लेट्स टेक एन एग्जाम्पल दैट इफ अ रिसर्च स्कॉलर इज फ्रॉम मैनेजमेंट स्ट्रीम then and he wants to do the research in the field of marketing. So if he wants to do research in the field of marketing, then he will be seeing the entire present scenario of the market, especially to the marketing strategies, branding strategies, advertisement strategies, and he will see that what are the gap areas or what are the gray areas which are available in the market on which I can do the research. I can take an example that presently you are seeing that lot many online offline marketing is going on or maybe lot many online shopping is going on. So if an individual or if a research scholar is from the marketing stream, then he may or she may like to have an analysis on that how people frequently go to online market or how people frequently go to offline market and they can go for a comparative analysis. Now the question arises कि ऐसा करने से क्या होगा. When you do a research and you identify a problem related to the present scenario, then you come up with some good solutions. Like for an example, this research may lead to some results or some suggestions which may be given to the online companies and also to the offline companies that how the present scenario, the customers' buying behavior is and what developments or what suggestions they can be taken up for improvement for their marketing strategies. सिमिलरली अगर हम बात करते हैं इस समय इकोनॉमिक सिनेरियो की, अभी हमने देखा कि हाल ही में जीएसटी एप्लीकेबल हुआ, तो जीएसटी से स्टेट इकोनॉमी पे क्या इफेक्ट पड़ रहा है या जीएसटी के क्या क्या प्रभाव आ रहे हैं, अगर हम इस पर बात करना चाहते हैं तो एक कॉमर्स का स्टूडेंट या फिर एक इकोनॉमिक्स का स्टूडेंट इस पर्सपेक्टिव को लेकर रिसर्च कर सकता है. इन नटशेल आई वुड लाइक टू स्टेट हियर दैट एंड व्हेन आई एम आइडेंटिफाइंग द प्रॉब्लम शुड बी द इमर्जिंग वन and it should be futuristic in approach. Whenever a research scholar or a student select a research problem, then he or she should always remember that whatever problem I am selecting, it should be from my surroundings, from the emerging market or from the emerging scenario of the market, and also it should be futuristic in nature. Because as we start working on the problem, it takes further 2 to 3 years to reach to the conclusion related to that problem and to give the probable suggestion. So if my research problem is futuristic in nature, then it may lead to some good results which may be applicable to the society. We are seeing that lot many research we are doing, but that is purely fundamental in nature. Because when we select the problem, we don't take care of this matter that what kind of problem we are selecting. And we take sometimes those problems which actually does not have any good relation with the surrounding. So चाहे वो एजुकेशन की स्ट्रीम हो, कॉमर्स हो, साइकोलॉजी हो, योगा हो, किसी भी जगह अगर हम रिसर्च कर रहे हैं तो हमें ये देखना चाहिए कि जो रिसर्च प्रॉब्लम का हम सिलेक्शन कर रहे हैं वो बहुत ही केयरफुल करें। एक बात का और ध्यान हम देते हैं कि जो भी हम प्रॉब्लम सिलेक्ट कर रहे हैं वो रिपीटेटिव इन नेचर ना हो। जैसा कि अगर उस पर बहुत सारा काम ऑलरेडी हो चुका है तो हमें उसमें एक नया एलिमेंट देखना पड़ता है और नया एलिमेंट देखना चाहिए, अदरवाइज इट इज़ वेरी टफ टू जस्टिफाई योर रिसर्च। और ये बहुत मुश्किल हो जाता है कि आप अपने रिसर्च को, जो पुराना शोध हो चुका है, जो पुराना रिसर्च हो चुका है, उससे कैसे अलग करें। तो इसीलिए जब भी हम प्रॉब्लम लेते हैं तो वो पहली बात, इट शुड बी दी लेटेस्ट प्रॉब्लम रिलेटेड टू दी प्रेजेंट मार्केट सिनेरियो। मार्केट सिनेरियो से मेरा यह मतलब मार्केट से नहीं है, मार्केट सिनेरियो से मेरा यह मतलब है जो भी आपकी सराउंडिंग्स हैं, जो भी आपकी फील्ड से रिलेटेड आपकी सराउंडिंग है, उनमें जो कुछ भी नया चल रहा है उसमें क्या गैप है, क्या आगे होने की संभावना है। इस चीज को लेते हुए हमें अपने रिसर्च प्रॉब्लम को सिलेक्ट करना चाहिए। आई थिंक द फर्स्ट पॉइंट शुड बी क्लियर टू ऑल ऑफ यू, दैट इज आइडेंटिफिकेशन ऑफ रिसर्च प्रॉब्लम। अब यहाँ पर बात आती है कि जब हमने रिसर्च प्रॉब्लम को सिलेक्ट किया तो अब हमारे आसपास जो लिटरेचर रिव्यू अवेलेबल है, लिटरेचर रिव्यू इज बेसिकली द रिव्यू द लिटरेचर विच इज अवेलेबल इन द मार्केट, दैट मीन्स विच इज अवेलेबल in your nearby areas, that is maybe library or maybe other reports, annual reports available in the market, books and all this material which is available in the secondary form. लिटरेचर रिव्यू जब भी हम करते हैं तो हम हमेशा ये देखना चाहते हैं कि हम जिस प्रॉब्लम पर काम करना चाहते हैं उस पर औरों का पर्सपेक्टिव क्या है, बाकी लोगों का पर्सपेक्टिव क्या है, एंड ऑल्सो विद द हेल्प ऑफ दिस रिव्यू वी कम टू नो द basic methodology related to my problem, basic objective the other researchers must have taken, the basic way they have solved this problem or they have presented this problem. So in totality, literature review actually helps you to gather the data. लिटरेचर रिव्यू हम जब भी करते हैं तो हमें उसे क्रोनोलॉजिकल करना चाहिए और हमेशा शुरू से लेकर पीछे 5 साल तक जाना चाहिए। एक आइडियली अगर हम पीएचडी थीसिस बनाते हैं या कोई भी रिपोर्ट बनाते हैं तो रिव्यू की शुरुआत, अगर आप आज 2017 में काम कर रहे हैं तो आपको रिव्यू की शुरुआत 2017 या 16 से लेकर 2011-12 या ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा 10 या 9 तक जाना चाहिए, क्योंकि ये आपको लेटेस्ट ट्रेंड्स बताता है। अगर हम लिटरेचर रिव्यू की शुरुआत बहुत पीछे से करते हैं, इट अगेन डिपेंड्स ऑन कि आप किस तरीके की रिसर्च कर रहे हैं। लेकिन अगर आप हिस्टोरिकल रिसर्च कर रहे हैं तो आपको बहुत पास्ट का डेटा पे जाना पड़ सकता है, बट अगर आप एक एप्लीकेबल या एक्शन ओरिएंटेड रिसर्च कर रहे हैं या इवन आप फंडामेंटल रिसर्च भी कर रहे हैं, रिव्यू के लिए आपको हमेशा शुरू से, अभी रिसेंट से लेकर बैक में जाना पड़ता है। ये आपको ऑब्जेक्टिव क्लियर करने में हेल्प करता है, ये आपको मेथोडोलॉजी बताता है, ये इसके थ्रू आप ये जानते हैं कि लोगों ने किस तरीके से काम किया है, एंड द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट, इट हेल्प्स यू टू जस्टिफाई द वेरिएबल्स यू आर टेकिंग for your study. Yes, it is very true. If I see the reviews, then in that review I see that what kind of variables the other researcher has taken up and how they have justified those variables, how they have taken up a study on those variables, and then on the basis of those reviews I as a researcher takes up the summary of that variable, and then I frame my structure of research. So the extensive literature review is very important. Nowadays these scholars are actually not giving too much of time for the review, but it's my humble request to all the listeners that please do the comprehensive review before finalizing your research problem. Here, if you talk about the PhD thesis here, the research problem is the research title which you are giving to your thesis or to your project. So before finalizing the title, it is very important to go for the detailed and the comprehensive review. You take down the 5 years papers of the previous 5 years papers and then research papers. There are lot many databases are available. The open access journals are also available on the net, and also the paid journals are also there, and you can take the reviews from the articles also, from the annual reports also. It all depends on that what kind of review you want to have. Maybe lot many times you will take up the problem which is very new to the society, and there you will be not able to get the proper review pertaining to that particular topic or the problem. But then here you can take some supporting documents as a review, and you can explain it in a way that there is a dearth of literature review on this particular topic, although these are all the studies which are supporting my topic or supporting my problem. So it may be possible that if my problem is very new and very emerging, I may have a less review with me, but in totality literature review is extensively available in the e-sources nowadays and in the offline sources also, and the scholar should go for the extensive literature review so that to make a proper problem and to frame a structured problem in a proper way. Once I am clear with these two steps. Now the next step comes as a construction of a research design. Research design, it's a very simple word. If you see the meaning of research design, designing of your research work, how you design your research. Once you have clear up with the problem, once you have done an extensive review, you have now decided your parameters, your variables which you will be taking for your further research study. Now you have to make a draft, make a sketch of design. The design basically comprise of that how you will be carrying your research. It will be start with the type of research. As I stated in my previous session that we have mainly 4-5 types of research, maybe the furthermore, but the research, types of research, what kind of research you are going. You are doing descriptive research, you are doing analytical research, you are doing experimental research, or the blend of any kind of research. Once the types of research is clear, then what data you will be taking, that means what sample you will be taking, that also being clear in the research design. Then what methodology you are going to apply, that is very important, and you have to frame up that in research design. So a comprehensive research design is very, very important before getting to the further process of research. Let me have a quick recap on these steps. That research design basically consists of what type of research you are carrying up, what kind of sample you will be having, what kind of data you will be collecting, whether it will be a kind of primary data or a secondary data, what kind of data you will be collecting, what will be your precise sample size, what will be your methodology, and not the outcome exactly, but yes, what you are going to get out of this, and how much time frame you will be having for this. That is also be the part of your research design in nutshell. There are lot many types of research design which will be taking up in our latest sessions, that what are majorly 3-4 kinds of research design we are using and how we construct the research design. But here I would like to state that research design is mainly based on the types of research I am using. Once the research design is clear, now the point is to develop a research question or a hypothesis. It also comes in the research design part, but in the process we take it up as a separate step, because once my objectives are clear in the research design and while doing the review and framing the problem, then I go for the setting up of hypothesis or setting up of the research question. Research questions is in a form of question which is usually the researcher tries to make, and on the basis of research questions there are certain variables taking up into consideration, a hypothesis is being formulated. It again depends on the type of study you are carrying out, and it decides that whether you require to frame up your hypothesis or you are simply working up with your research question. That all detailed description we will be taking up in our further sessions. Now coming on to the framing of research hypothesis and research question, the main part comes into existence, that is the collection of data. Data is a set of numbers or anything which actually requires on which you are going to work on analyze. So for analysis we need data. When you collect the data, you decide that what kind of data you are collecting. Data is broadly classified into 2 categories, primary data and secondary data. The data which we collect at the first hand is known as primary data, and the data which is already available in the form of a literature or periodicals, as I stated in the literature review also, that data is known as secondary data. Secondary data, as I said you, that it is available on e-sources. Here I would like to state an example. एक example से मैं आपको यहाँ बताना चाहूँगी कि जैसे अगर मैंने इकोनॉमिक्स में स्टडी करना है और मुझे एक पर्टिकुलर एरिया का डेटा चाहिए, मेनली मुझे एक स्टेट इकोनॉमी पर स्टडी करना है और मुझे जीडीपी का डेटा चाहिए, मुझे पर कैपिटा इनकम का डेटा चाहिए, मुझे इंडस्ट्रियल इन्फ्लेशन का डेटा चाहिए, या और भी उससे जुड़े हुए कुछ भी पर्टिकुलर वेरिएबल्स का डेटा चाहिए और ईयर वाइज चाहिए, 10 साल का या 15 साल का, तो वो डेटा मेरे लिए एक टाइम सीरीज डेटा के फॉर्म में मुझे मिलेगा और वो डेटा सेकेंडरी डेटा होगा जो कि ऑफिशियल वेबसाइट्स पे हमें अवेलेबल होगा. अगर मेरी स्टडी इस तरीके का डिमांड करती है तो मुझे सेकेंडरी डेटा इस तरीके से मिलेगा. बाकी रिव्यू बनाने के लिए जो डेटा हमें अवेलेबल होता है वो मैंने आपको पहले ही बताया, ये ई सोर्सेज पे अवेलेबल होता है. बात आती है प्राइमरी डेटा की. प्राइमरी डेटा हम एक्सपेरिमेंट के थ्रू तो लेते ही हैं, ऑब्जर्वेशंस के थ्रू लेते हैं, इंटरव्यू के थ्रू लेते हैं, क्वेश्चनरी जो एक बहुत स्ट्रॉन्ग टूल माना जाता है, जैसे प्रश्नावली कहा जाता है हिंदी में, उसके भी द्वारा हम डेटा को एकत्रित करते हैं. तो प्राइमरी डेटा जनरली सर्वे के फॉर्म से कलेक्ट किया जाता है, ऑब्जर्वेशन के फॉर्म से कलेक्ट किया जाता है, इंटरव्यू के माध्यम से कलेक्ट किया जाता है, और ये डेटा जो रिसर्चर होता है वो फर्स्ट हैंड अपने द्वारा कलेक्ट करता है. मार्केटिंग डिसिप्लिन की अगर हम बात करते हैं या ह्यूमन रिसोर्स डिसिप्लिन की हम बात करते हैं, मैं मैनेजमेंट के पर्सपेक्टिव से यहाँ अपनी बात रखूंगी, तो वहाँ पर हम जनरली प्राइमरी डेटा पर ज़्यादा रैली करते हैं. अगर हम फाइनेंस रिलेटेड स्टडीज़ को करना चाहते हैं या इकोनॉमिक्स से जुड़ी हुई कोई स्टडी करना चाहते हैं, तो वहाँ पर हमारा जो फोकस मेनली होता है वो सेकेंडरी डेटा पर होता है. एंड दिस इज हाउ वी कैटेगराइज. बट इन फर्दर अगर हम बात करते हैं सोशल साइंसेज में भी अगर हम बात करें तो प्राइमरी डेटा, हम ज़्यादातर प्राइमरी डेटा पर स्टडीज करते हैं. इट प्योरली डिपेंड ऑन द टाइप ऑफ, अगेन आई से, द स्टडी you want to conduct and type of problem you have set it up. That will decide you that what kind of data you are gonna to collect. So that is actually the collection of data. Once you have collected the data, you have to classify the data, whether it is quantitative in nature, whether it is qualitative in nature. And after collecting the data, the most important part is the analysis of the data. When I analyze the data, I have to see that whether I need any software for this or I am analyzing it in a very different manner. Various methods are available nowadays to analyze various kinds of data. Quantitative data are analyzed in a different way and qualitative analysis is being done in a different way. And there are number of methods nowadays they have coined, the researcher, the statisticians have coined to analyze the data. This is the hardcore part of your research process, which actually calls for the entire summary, because without the proper analysis of the data, the researcher won't be able to give the proper interpretation of the data. And the essence of your entire research process rests with this step, that is the analysis of the data. So the researcher has to be very cautious while selecting the method of analyzing the data and the tool and the technique they are using for analyzing the data. Let me be very clear with you at this point that once I decide the objective at the very beginning while defining the problem, then there only I decide that what kind of tool I am going to use to analyze my data. So that is very important from the research perspective, that at the very beginning I have to decide that what kind of tool I will be using for the analysis. Now once the analysis of the data is being done, then the last and the very important step is to make a report on it. Now for a research scholar, the thesis can be a report. For a MBA student, the dissertation can be a report. For a freelancer who is working on the government projects, the finally compilation of report is that the document which they will be submitting after the completion of the entire project. Report is report, no matter for which purpose we are making it. A report is having the proper, again, the structure, and it again start with the problem statement and ends up to the suggestions and the recommendations. Here I would like to again give you one important point, that when we do the research or when we do the thesis, the findings and conclusions when we give, it incorporates the suggestions. And I always suggest the students that you have to use the word suggestions, not the recommendations, because when we do the PhD research or when we do the research for pursuing PhD, we have to be very cautious with the words. So we have to use the word suggestion in our report rather than the word recommendation. So when we frame the report, finally when we frame the report, we again go back to the first step and we start with that what was my problem statement, that is the title of the report, and then it starts up with the introduction, then it gives the basic objective of my study, followed by the methodology, the background of the study which I have taken up, and then that background followed by the data analysis and interpretation. So report writings can be done at the end of the entire research process, and with this the entire research process completes for a one particular project or for a one particular problem. Let's have a quick recap of all the 7 or 8 steps which I have narrated so far. The first step is to identify the research problem. The problem should be unique in its own way. It should not be repetitive in nature. It should have some correlation or some substance with the emerging societal waves, and that should be taken care by the researcher, so that the research will give some concrete results, as I said, and it should be futuristic in nature according to me. Now the second step is to get the extensive literature review, so that it can help a researcher to develop the proper objective, followed by hypothesis and the methodology to be worked on. So the review helps you in that way. The review should be chronological in nature. It should start from the recent point and ends up to the maybe latest 5 years or 6 years or 7 years, and it should be from the good and the relevant sources, so that we can have a good referencing with us. Once the review is being done, then we have to construct a proper research design, a research framework, a skeleton of a research study, which comprises of all the elements which I have already shared in the earlier points. Once the design is there, then the next is to develop the research question or the research hypothesis, depending on the type of study you are carrying on. Once the hypothesis and question is clear, then the next and the very important step is to how to collect the data and the data collection. So data collection, I said that there are two sets of data over which we usually work. So the data collection is used to be done after that. Once the data collection is done, then we analyze the data. हम डेटा को एनालाइज करते हैं with the proper tools and softwares which are nowadays very much available in the market, and with the help of the some statistical softwares we can analyze the data in a very easy manner nowadays. Once that analysis is being done, then we frame the report and we compile it in a proper way. So these was the 7 or 8 steps which I have narrated today about the research process. I hope the steps must be clear to you, and in my next series then I will be taking up these steps in further ways in a very brief manner, that is what the problems can be and how do we do the extensive literature review. So that I will be taking up, and more especially how we develop the research design, what are the various kinds of research design. That will be the part of my next lecture series. Thank you for listening.